What's up, every guys? What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the Sip and Talk podcast. I'm Ellen.
I'm Nancy.
And today we are going to be talking about AI, hustle culture, and hobbies. So, kicking things off, I suppose AI is obviously highly relevant now at the moment. Everyone and their dog is talking about it. I suppose the main thing around AI for me is whether it's a creative tool, like can it be a tool for creativity, or can it kill creativity altogether? Or has creativity been redefined now that AI is in the picture? I suppose I'll start. So when I was doing my master's degree, I actually wrote my dissertation on AI, and I interviewed a number of artists who used it and who didn't, just to try and get like a feel for, you know, what was the discourse around it in the arts and cultural world. And it was a very, very interesting research project, and I actually really enjoyed writing about it and finding out more about AI and kind of what people were saying. And at the time, during the RHA annual exhibition, there was a guy there who had submitted an AI piece, and it made it into the newspapers on RT. Everyone was talking about it, like, is this art, is this not? And I actually had the opportunity to interview the artist for my dissertation. And he had some really interesting things to say. But ultimately, the main findings that came out of the dissertation was that AI can be a fantastic brainstorming tool, or it can be used as like an assistant in terms of artists branching out, or they might want to see what something looks like before they go and make their final project or their final work, or, you know, from that perspective, they thought it was quite beneficial. I would be of the same opinion. I don't think AI is a separate entity. It can't think for itself, so therefore it actually actively cannot create in the way that humans can. But I do think it would be a shame to not use such a valuable tool at our disposal when it comes to maybe brainstorming ideas or helping you plan outlines for a work or a project. What do you think?
So, actually, this is a very in topic for me right now, because recently, a few days ago, actually, I stumbled across. So it was, I think I watched like a YouTube video about it. It was basically about this author who was writing books. I don't remember the name of it, her, but basically she posted like a TikTok short, I think, or something like that, where like her husband said something to her along the lines of like their relationship and how like they met or something. Like, oh, I think she asked like, oh, what would you do if you woke up in 2019 and you hadn't met me yet? And he was like, basically, I would find you and like save you from that asshole you were dating, basically. So someone went into comments and said, oh, this would be a really good book idea. So she was like, yeah, I could write about our relationship, right? Which is like, it's so personal to her.
Yeah.
Like, it's only what she's lived through, her emotions that would come on the page. And someone online took it upon themselves to go to ChatGPT and write a book for her.
No way.
Using ChatGPT. And then emailed her and said, basically, like, oh, look, I wrote a book for you. I think it's an interesting story. And she was obviously offended by it.
Yeah, of course.
I think rightfully so, because also you didn't just take someone else's idea and wrote a book about it. You also used AI for it. And then he like took it, like responded back to her with a video saying like, why would you not use an AI tool when it's right there for you? Like, oh, it takes authors a year to write a book, when you could write a whole book in one day, and then you could release 100 books a year. Which is like, again, brings us back to quantity over quality.
Yeah.
When I think I agree with you, you can use AI as a tool to help you maybe outline some bullet points that you can work off, like to help you maybe hone in your idea.
Yeah.
Like, it can help you put words.
Yeah, or help you kind of see a different picture.
Yeah, the bigger picture that you want to write about, which is like fair enough. I think that's a good tool to have at your
It's a better,
disposal.
it's a good use of it.
Yeah, but to use it to write a whole book and then going at an author and telling them, why would you not use an AI? Because I think when an author sits down, it might take longer, but at least it's true and real. And an AI cannot get human emotions across paper.
Yeah, I
It
agree.
cannot tug at your heartstrings or, whatever is used to what makes a book a book.
Yeah, I agree with that. I think, I don't want people to misinterpret what I said in the beginning. Like, I think it's a fantastic tool, but I think that's just it. The line should stop once it's given you enough information to inform your masterpiece or your final project or your final work, then that's all the involvement it needs. Because as I said, I think it would be silly to not use such a wonderful tool at your disposal for that purpose. That is it. AI is not something that should be
Used to create
used
art,
to actually actively create, as you said, like write a book, create a photograph, a painting. Like, it shouldn't. I think that's where it crosses the line, because what it produces is not obviously original. It's just it's an amalgamation of the training data that has been inputted into it, so it's not real.
And it also pulls off like things off the internet, so it's never gonna be original. It's gonna work off something that it finds in the data on the internet. So it's never gonna be like really original that came solely from a person, from their soul, from their mind. And I think that's what makes art so creative and so what's the word I'm looking for? Like,
worthy of appreciation.
Yeah, it's just amazing and fascinating, because every person interprets art differently. Like, I could read a book that I really like and you wouldn't like it. I could see a painting that really resonated with me and it wouldn't evoke any emotion in you. And I think that's what makes art so fascinating, because it's like from a person, from their soul, their mind, and it's just really them. And AI cannot do that. It cannot invoke that like feelings from you, I think, personally. I don't know.
Yeah, and aside from that, like most things that are AI generated are very obviously fake looking anyway. Like, they just don't look authentic, they don't look real. But I agree with that. As I said, I think it's just what AI, the outputs it produces are just an amalgamation of training data. So other images from other artists or other paintings or whatever it might be, other content. It's just churning that out in a way that it thinks you want to hear to appease you.
Yeah, exactly.
But I disagree with that. I don't think it should be then used to, churn out full drafts of a book. Or
I also think it's like a cop-out. That's just like being lazy, in my opinion. Like, the purpose of art is that you invest a lot of time in it, to hone in your skill, to make a story, to make a painting. Like, if you don't dedicate that time, I don't think it really is art.
No, I agree. I think it's kind of a lazy way out. I think it's cheating. And then there is no creativity behind it, because you're just typing in what you want it to produce, and it produces it like that. So I understand why the discourse around it is more negative than positive, because as a creative person myself, and as other actively practicing artists, they feel a bit cheated, because they're like, I've devoted my life and soul to, as you said, taking courses, honing my skill, making all these mistakes to make sure I get it right the next time. Like, decades and years of just hard graft, blood, sweat and tears that humans have put into perfecting their craft can now just be replicated in the blink of an eye. So I understand why people feel so negatively about it. And I would be of the same opinion. I'm like, well, so what's it all for then? And I think, if you are a creative person, particularly a young person in Ireland, just because I live here and I know what it's like, so I'm just going to use that as an example. Create art and music and those creative subjects, particularly in school, are just not taken seriously. And I think that's another reason why, if you are creatively inclined, that's why you have to work so much harder to try and make it work for yourself. And it's only a very small minority, very small percentage of people that can actually take their creative passions and live off it and become full paid practicing artists and musicians.
especially in Ireland. I
Yeah,
would
you know,
say, yeah.
and I just feel like now, yes, it's never really taken seriously in school. There isn't as much importance placed on it as there would be like maths, physics, you know, all those other
yeah,
subjects.
business, whatever.
And, you know, and now I think AI is just going to exacerbate that opinion, because now it's giving people more of an excuse to say, oh, well, anybody could do that. Oh, who gives a shit about art because you can just use AI? Who gives a fuck about writing a song because you can just use AI to do that? So I think it has actually exacerbated a problem that should have been, that we maybe need to address in the
Yeah.
Irish education system. So that's,
I
yeah.
think. Sorry if I interrupted.
Yeah, no,
you.
you're not. Yeah, I finished my point. But
So I think basically what I've seen about people who are against and pro AI are mostly people who are in creative community who maybe are not artists themselves but enjoy maybe books or paintings or whatever. Like even anime is art. Like, you know, people take time to draw the animations. So those are like against AI. But then there are people like this guy who wrote a book for an author and was like, oh, there you go, your book's finished. Like, and they're like, I don't understand, why would you not use it? Because those people have never been creative. They don't have a creative bone in their body. So they don't really understand what goes into being creative.
Yeah.
Like that it is time consuming. It takes time. You can't just whip it up. Like it's not a creation anymore.
yeah.
What makes it special is that you spend time on it and it's yours.
Yeah.
It came from your mind, like, you
Yeah.
know?
Yeah. No, I think that's a really fair point. And it's generally those people that say, why wouldn't you can just use AI to do it, are the same people that go into an art gallery and look at a Picasso and say, well, I could do that. Like it's that's the same. Well, you didn't and you couldn't.
yeah.
And it's that. So it's that same
You're not Picasso, like.
mentality that I
Yeah.
just can't stand. And it's like, why do you think you're so much better than everybody? Because you just, you know, because you just can't seem to appreciate the hard graft that like a human did. That human created that. Like
Yeah, when an AI does it, it takes the human experience out of it.
yeah, it does. Yeah.
Which
yeah.
brings me back to the point of like
Yeah.
the whole world. We're worried about robots taking over. We're becoming the robots because now you want to take out the human experience
Yeah. Yeah.
out of life.
I just think, you know, AI really, really cheapens creativity, and I just don't think it's fair to the artist to compare those two things because they're just not the same. And just going back to what you're talking about that guy who used ChatGPT to generate a whole novel about this woman's own personal experience, this woman's own relationship that he has never experienced, couldn't possibly
Been part of,
imagine.
yeah.
I just feel like no one would be better placed to write about a character, whether it's themselves or if it's a work of fiction, and be so vulnerable about their own like an emotional and a personal experience. No one will be better placed to do that than the actual author herself. And
Exactly.
whatever you want to say about AI, it's very clinical and it's systematic, and it's unfeeling.
Yeah, there's no emotion behind it.
There's no human nuance, because humans are so complex and so nuanced.
Yeah.
And that's what makes creative outputs so valuable, because like
that's what makes you feel.
And you know that, like, yes, it's subjective, but you know when someone writes a fantastic song that like their blood, sweat and tears went into that. That's a personal experience that they're conveying through song, through literature, whatever it might be. Like, you know, an AI could just never do that.
Yeah.
You know?
But AI can write it, but it doesn't resonate. And I can guarantee it will not resonate with other people. Like this guy also made a point of like, okay, you write that one book that you want to write, right? And I will continue writing with AI books till you finish your one book, and then we'll see how many books I have, and then we'll get a group of people to read the books, and they will tell us which one they like better. So he feels like there's a point that like, oh, he can do much more quantity, but then I don't think he realizes that maybe the people would know that it's AI and people would not enjoy it, but he thinks he's right.
Yeah.
Because he can produce more with AI. But like
producing more doesn't mean the quality is good. Like I think people need to stop confusing those two words. Like quantity does not always mean top best quality. Like it doesn't. I just don't think it's fair of him to take somebody's personal experience and try and profit off it in this way, or like exploit it. I think that's egregious.
Yeah, he wasn't even profiting. He was basically saying like, oh, if she's not going to use it, I'm going to make it available for free online for anyone to read it. Like, he still doesn't get the point. Like, I just can't.
But also, AI can get things wrong.
Yeah.
And it's so easy to detect AI because of how it tends to structure things. You know, it's very obvious.
Yeah, and then people made that point. And he came back saying, okay, I'm not saying that like the whole book should be written by AI, but authors should write with AI and then go back, edit it, because you're going to edit the book you wrote anyways, and then rewrite things in your words. But then that's not even like an original idea. Like,
No, it isn't.
Yeah, it's like the I don't know. It's just like the work doesn't even, like, the same work doesn't go in if you write it yourself. Come up with the words yourself, then rather than have AI write it for you and then you just like reconstruct it.
Yeah. Yeah, no, definitely. I suppose like on the flip side of that, one could argue like when I was writing my dissertation, my mom made a very interesting point because I was showing her a certain AI tool that I was referencing in my thesis. And my mom made an interesting point. She said, yeah, but like the input that you put in is not going to be the same as mine. So in some degree, like, is it could you look at it as an original output? Because as she said, like your input is not going to be the same as somebody else's, and how you search for something isn't going to be the same as someone else's. I thought that was quite an interesting opinion at the time. I was like, you know, one could argue for or against that. But yeah, fundamentally,
I think the response would be the same.
Yeah,
because ChatGPT and Gemini, they are trained by humans to respond to human questions. So they have multiple versions of the same question that people could ask, but the answer would be along the lines the same one.
Yeah.
So, you know, like...
yeah, like fundamentally there wouldn't be a massive difference for that reason, as you said, because if you're using the same keywords...
that it's been trained to recognize.
Yeah. So anyway, just food for thought.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I suppose then on the other hand, I suppose we could look at like hustle culture. So obviously a lot of people are trying to harness AI now. You've got big tech companies in China and the US trying to win this so-called AI race. But I just wanted to know like what you thought of that and what you think of hustle culture in general.
Well, with AI or just in general?
I think in general, and if you want to reference AI, you can, yeah.
I don't really have an opinion of like winning this AI race. I haven't really researched that much.
Yeah, no, me neither,
like,
but I just thought it was kind of interesting.
Yeah, that is interesting because like it's like a big boom, obviously.
It's the new commodity now, isn't it?
Yeah. It's the new shiny thing in this world.
It's the new shiny thing, it is, yeah.
But the hustle culture, like, see, I'm very like against it personally because I think it makes fun things into not fun things. Like a hobby that is like a hobby for someone, but someone's like making it like a hustle culture, like a side business.
Yeah. I feel like because we're seeing such an influx of people trying to become monetized on social media and YouTube and all that kind of thing, like where you need to constantly be pushing products, you need to constantly be hustling, for want of a better word. I think it has now, as you said, made it's turned things that people would revert to reduce stress or as a coping mechanism into something that has to be a commodity, commoditized or monetized. And I don't really agree with that. I think we should just let hobbies be hobbies. And, you know, if you want to push a product, if you're running your own business, fair enough, that's a separate thing. But, you know, I don't think we need to be putting people under pressure to try and
make everything a side hustle, like
make money from the things that they're interested in.
Yeah, because not everyone wants to do that. But then, as I said, it takes, for some people, it actually takes the fun out of their hobby, and they don't want to be associated with it anymore because now it's like a side hustle business. And if you're not like doing it the right way, it's like you shouldn't be doing it at all.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
I can't think of like specific examples, but there are. people
There
like that,
definitely are. There
yeah.
definitely are. Yeah, because everyone, I suppose, we're all trying to make a quick bag in this world, and social media is obviously the fastest way to do that
Yeah.
now. So people are obviously they use it to promote their businesses. They use it to promote their small crafts or whatever it is that they're making, and it is working out for some people. It is, but like if I'm seeing a lot of people selling their pottery, making pottery and then selling it, which is fine. That's their bag. But also, like, if I was a pottery artist, I would kind of feel like, oh, I just know that family and friends would eventually bring up the conversation of, oh, why don't you start selling your pieces? Why don't you start,
Why don't
putting them online?
Yeah, why
or
don't you make an Instagram account?
make
or,
an
like,
Instagram account or
yeah.
go on Etsy or whatever it might be? And it's like,
Because that's what everyone else is doing.
And it's like, well, no, like making pottery, this is just an example, but making pottery is like, it's just a hobby of mine, and I just do it because I like it. I don't want to make money off it. But again, people kind of look at you sideways now when you say that, because they're like, well, why wouldn't you want to make money off it? And everything has to
Because
be a hustle
because
and-
you're doing it for what then?
Yeah,
because
what are you
I
doing it for if it's
enjoy
not for
it.
money?
Maybe it quiets my mind and makes me relax. Why should I now sell it? Something that I use as an escape from, I don't know, the real world. Like,
Yeah.
it's just a fun hobby.
Yeah, I feel like, you
Yeah.
can't
You
really...
don't need to sell everything.
Yeah, exactly. You can't really kind of enjoy anything now without someone asking you, oh, why don't you turn it into a business? Why
Yeah.
don't you try and make money off it somehow, or go to an art fair and sell it? Like, no, I don't want to do that. So like I don't think we need to turn absolutely every single hobby into some kind of side hustle. I think it's okay to just enjoy something.
Yeah, what you enjoy. Yeah, like...
Within reason. If you're making the pottery purely for the point of selling it, fine.
Yeah,
But
yeah. Like if you're
You
an
don't have to.
pottery artist and that's like your art, okay, fine.
if that's how you make a living,
Yeah,
then
yeah.
fine.
But like, I mean, like for someone who, as you said, just goes to pottery classes for the fun of it, because I don't know, it's just something fun for them to do, some new skill to learn or whatever. And then people like yapping in your ear saying, well, why don't you just start selling it? Because you're going to classes anyways, might as well make a buck out of it.
Yeah, like no.
No, like
No,
I'm just
Sheila.
doing it for fucking
I'm doing it because I
fun.
like it. Thank you.
Yeah, that's why I like it, because it's not work. It's not a job.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Because I just know, like, if I felt pressured or bullied into selling my pottery, like, oh, well, now it's a chore. Now
Yeah.
it's something I have to do, and now it's not fun.
Do you take pottery classes?
No, I don't. I'm using pottery as an example.
Oh no, because like,
I
it
don't.
sounds so convincing. And I started to question in my mind. It's like,
No,
I've
I'm not.
never heard about this.
No, I'm only using the pottery as an example.
Example, yeah,
because it's just what I've seen online from other pottery creators. I was just seeing a
Yeah.
lot of pottery, so I was just using that as an example. But me personally, I don't.
I
don't
actually
take
want
any
to take pottery classes.
I think it will be so much fun.
I want to take some because I think it's a fun thing to do, like
Yeah.
something creative. But
No,
like,
you have to sell
it. Because you're paying for the class, so why you're not going to get
wouldn't you
anything
sell
out of it?
What's the
Like,
point then?
Well, point
Yeah.
is for me to have fun.
No,
relax.
not good enough.
A thing to do.
No. Wrong.
See, that's crazy
Yeah, that is
mindset.
crazy.
That's crazy mindset. Like,
Yeah, it
I
is.
don't know. It just doesn't sit well with me, to be honest.
Yeah, I
Like-
agree.
Should be a hobby. Should be a hobby if it's a hobby for someone and not a business. If it's your business, that's fair enough, but it shouldn't be someone else's business. If they are doing it, maybe to escape work life. You know, something they do for work-life balance, like a fun little thing they do once a week.
Yeah, and just like it's okay to enjoy something without
It's
having to
like
make money
it's
off
like
it.
every person who goes to the gym starts to make like I don't know lifestyle content about gym life.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, some people go to the gym to de-stress, not to actually be super passionate about it online.
Yeah, and showing off all their workouts and how
Yeah.
their gains or whatever. you wanna
Yeah,
call
whatever
it.
they
Like,
do at the gym.
Yeah, like some people just want to go to the gym after work and just burn off the stress of the day.
Yeah,
Like, and that
yeah.
is okay.
Yeah, you don't need to make content out of it. Like,
Yeah.
you know what I mean? Like maybe it's a fun hobby for you. Like maybe you just think gym is so fascinating. Not for me, but like some people.
Some people do. Yeah.
Like I think your husband.
My
finds
husband
it fun.
definitely, he loves the gym.
Yeah.
And yeah, like before he would always try to document himself going to the gym because he just wanted to, you know, put it online and, you know, hope.
Yeah, but he was
hoped
kind
that
of
somebody
like
would resonate with it.
I think he was kind of more like lifestyle.
Yeah.
Yeah, but that's fine. That was his choice.
That was his choice and he wanted to do that. But it was he never went into it with the intention of like, this is going to go anywhere. I'm going to be so big. I'm going to be the next
like
biggest
I'm doing
influencer.
this for the likes.
Yeah, no, that was never the case. He just wanted to document his life and that, you know, and that was fine. And he gained
Which
like
is
a
fair
small bit
enough.
of traction. He's now stopped, but he did gain like a little bit of traction doing it for
Why
a
did he
while.
stop actually? Because he seemed very into it.
No, I think it was just other facets of life kind of got in the way, and then it just wasn't really a priority anymore because it
Yeah.
took a lot of time to film and then edit and
yeah.
you know, he has like quite a stressful full-time job and he works long hours a lot, so like it just wasn't feasible anymore. And you know, but
Yeah.
again, it was just a hobby.
Yeah, but it was like a fun little thing he did. Also, for him, it made sense because his family doesn't live here. So it's like another glimpse of life
Yeah.
that they could see.
That they can see
because
it, yeah.
they're not here.
Yes, exactly.
So
yeah.
which makes sense in that aspect. But like if like imagine like he was doing something that he really enjoyed and you were like, "Oh, babe, you should totally post that online and try to sell it."
Yeah.
Because everyone else is doing that.
Why don't you start selling like your fitness routine and do classes?
Yeah,
and why
yeah.
don't you start doing all this? Like, no, why am I trying to spoil something that he's enjoying?
Yeah, exactly.
Enjoying doing.
Exactly. Because then I can guarantee you're gonna stop enjoying it because now it's your job.
Yeah.
You're not gonna find it fun anymore.
Yeah. Yeah,
Like-
exactly. Like, but obviously, if your only way of making a living is by posting fitness content online, and you do have like packages that people can buy into, you do online courses or classes or coaching or personal
Yeah.
training or whatever it is, and you have your own gym and it is actually a business for you, then we're not referring to that. That's a separate thing.
Yeah.
But you know, I'm fantastic. Good for you if that is how you make your bag. But yeah, but for a lot of people, that's just not the case. And
Yeah, but for a lot of people,
Yeah.
it is a hobby. And
yeah,
yeah, it's like, yeah, I don't know. Like, I think like anything that I personally enjoy in my life, if I start making money off it, like I wouldn't enjoy it anymore. Because like I don't enjoy working. So like that would take the joy out of me
yeah,
for that thing that I loved so much to do
Yeah.
as like a pastime.
yeah,
Like I would be like, no.
yeah. No, I do
Because
the same.
I know that some people, like I've heard about, I don't know if this is true, but some people online can like actually like view movies and like review them and then they earn some like side money.
Yeah,
Like it's like a side hustle. And a lot of people do that. Sure, if you can do that, that's good for you. But for me, I would like look at it as another job I have to do. I would hate watching movies now. Because I'd be
Yeah.
like, oh, if I want extra 50 like euros today, I need to go watch that movie.
you need to go and watch a
Like,
movie. Yeah,
Yeah, and now it's a chore.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Yeah, no, definitely. You know, some people just don't want that. They don't want their hobbies ruined in that way.
Yeah,
because
yeah.
work is stressful enough, and like you don't want to have to then pile on the pressure to then fulfill something else and then force yourself to
Yeah.
do something that you used to enjoy, but now you no longer do because it's now become
so-
work.
Yeah, our point here is not every hobby should be your side hustle. Hustle,
Yeah.
not hustle, hustle. Yeah.
Hassle. Because
It is a hassle, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Spoke my true feelings.
Yeah, no, not everything has to be a side hustle.
Yeah,
And,
exactly.
You know, it's
Some
okay.
things are just there for you to enjoy and not earn money out of it.
And that's okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Shall we leave it there?
All right, guys, thank you so much for tuning in to today's episode. If you have any thoughts on AI or hustle culture, please do leave them in the comments because we would love to see what other people out there are thinking about
Yeah.
it. And we'll see you in the next one. Thanks so
Thank
much.
you. Bye.